This is a toy spot on the Neca Nightmare on Elm Street Freddy Krueger as seen in A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5, The Dream Child. Freddy appears to have an alternate head as well as a baby Freddy. So if you've been looking to get a baby Freddy at some point for your collection, NECA's got you covered. Down below, the poster of A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5, The Dream Child. Not a very good poster for a very lousy movie. It's definitely one of Spot's least favorite Nightmare on Elm Streets. I don't even know which one I hate more. I don't know if I hate Part 5 more or if I hate the New Nightmare more. I did not like A New Nightmare. I might be the only one. I might be the only one, but I did not care for A New Nightmare at all. We have the same picture of Freddy Krueger down at the bottom corner there. That looks to be more like Freddy from possibly Part 2 or 3. And then on the back, complete your nightmare by picking up the Dream Warriors Freddy with the syringe fingertips, as well as this figure, the Dream Child. Both brought to us from the good folks at NECA. The read-up says, Freddy continues his reign of terror channeled through the mind of survivor Alice's unborn son. It also this child that Freddy intends to use as the means of reincarnation into the real world. Which really is also something I've always was curious about. Very similar to Chucky, the fact that they would use a child to be brought into the real world. As a child, neither of them would be all that powerful. They would just ultimately get picked on at school. Freddy would just say, oh, I've had a bad day at school. The kids were picking on me. Geez, I really wish I could have had my dream powers then. See that? You have to think these things out, Freddy. You have to think these things out. What I am going to do, though, is take a bit of a break. I'm going to get this opened up. By all means, certainly when we come back, we're going to get a better look at Freddy Krueger as seen in A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5, The Dream Child. There is definitely more to come. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. One of the accessories that come with Freddy, we'll zoom into this first. You get yourself a little baby Freddy. Look how cute he is. He's got a little umbilical cord. He doesn't have any articulation really aside from his head. His head is on a ball joint. You kind of just would have him crawling on the floor. But nice detail. I like that they've given this wet paint job to it. So it looks like he's wet. He's just come out. Little sculpt on the little tiny feet, little hands. Really, really good job. I love the fact that we got a little baby Freddy. How awesome is that? I would also hope that maybe when we eventually get a Jason Goes to Hell Jason, that maybe we'll get like that little, whatever that is, that little demon Jason thing. Maybe we'll get one of those with Jason as well. But good work to NECA for including this. I love that. Good job. Having a look at the actual Freddy, I really like this figure a lot. And I don't know why. I don't know why. Spot, you're a horrible reviewer. You can't even put to words why you like a figure. I think I like the figure because his face is so different. Now granted, every Freddy movie, Freddy's face has changed. He kind of got away from the more melted look of his face, whereas then later in the later movies, Freddy got more or less these open sores and stuff like that. I really like this face though because first of all, his mouth is closed. Because a lot of Freddys, for example, the Freddy I just reviewed from the Dream Warriors, his mouth is open. His mouth is usually open, or it's grimacing, or it's screaming, or it's doing something, or he's smiling. This is one of the only few Freddys that we got where his mouth is actually closed. I just like the fact that it's different. I really like that. Granted, it's rather interesting the fact that I'm speaking so highly of a figure that's based on a movie I really despise so much. But I really like the fact that we got this kind of head sculpt. It's just very, very different than the other stuff that we've gotten. And you can actually even see, too, the difference in the paint, the difference in the makeup, actually, that Freddy had gone through. Whereas this one is more like melted cheese. This one kind of just is like, I don't know, like a strawberry rhubarb pie which I could really go with right about now. His glove is an open fingered glove where his fingers are actually more extended out. So the beauty of it too is, for how many of these Freddys that we've gotten, you could mix and match really. If you like this glove on maybe say an older Freddy figure, you know, you could do that. You can mix that up, change it up a little bit. Really, really nice. His other limb, for starters, he has a stretched out hand here. You can see that there's all those veins and tendons and everything else in it. It looks like it is on a ball joint, which I think I can get out. Because one thing I would have liked, which unfortunately this Freddy does not have, it's extremely loose for starters. I would have preferred if they had actually given us alternate hand. At least this hand being alternate, and maybe an alternate foot. Because as you can see, he's also got the stretched out, elongated foot down below here. I would have liked if they had given us an alternate shoe to put on this side, an alternate hand to put on this side. Because I like this Freddy so much that just to have him as a generic Freddy, just with regular hands, regular feet, I would have been very, very happy. I am happy too that we got these stretched out limbs, but I like the option. I like the ability to say, you know what, I prefer Freddy just as is, because I almost would have displayed this Freddy likely just with a regular normal Freddy hand. Now again, for all the Freddys that we've gotten, I can easily just swap this out with another Freddy hand, probably with another Freddy foot. Obviously one Freddy will go to waste because then he'll be missing his feet unless I buy like a second of another one. But I really like this head sculpt. He does have his fedora, which if you compare it actually to the fedora from the Dream Warriors Freddy, you can see that this one's a little more brown in color. This one's a little dingier and more of a gray color. This would probably be a Freddy too that I would display with his fedora, whereas Dream Warriors Freddy here I would probably display without his fedora. If you don't necessarily like this head sculpt, you can take the head off. I also like the fact that his face has kind of got that slicked, kind of wet look to it as well. I just get his head off here. Sometimes these heads aren't the easiest to pop off. Here we go. And I'm just going to pop this Freddy head on, because he does also come with an alternate head. Which, if I can get it in there, sometimes they're not the easiest, I'm afraid. This one you get is a much angrier Freddy head, like so. It's not on there 100%, but you can see there. Now it's your pick as to which you prefer. As much as I like this face of Freddy, it seems a little off to me. It seems a little off that I almost would prefer this face. But again, that's all the reasoning why to buy maybe more than one of these, because you can have either or. This one is a much more angrier Freddy. This one not so much. Let's just pop that head off there. It's about you spending a lot of time popping limbs off and everything else. Get to the articulation is what they're saying. Get to the articulation. There we go. Freddy's articulation would be the same as every other Freddy in the fact that he does have a ball-jointed head. He has a pin and socket shoulder. They rotate all the way around. A bend and rotation in the forearm. A ball-jointed hand. Ball-jointed hand on this side as well. Rotation in the waist via ball joint. And finally, ball-jointed feet. Ball-jointed shoe, ball-jointed foot. I'm definitely curious to see what you guys think of this figure down below. I just really like the fact that it's so different. It's so different than what we've gotten from the other Freddy figures that this guy just has a really nice charm to him. The only real critique I could probably give is I would have preferred an alternate hand and alternate shoe had we been able just to change them out and give us, just so that we can have a regular Freddy figure. But I still like the fact that they're doing this, and I love the fact that Neca is giving us so many variations of the Freddy throughout the span of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. Freddie from the Dream Child, I am going to give him a 9. 9 down below, right there. Today's toy spot, we're having a look at the Neca A Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy Krueger, as seen in A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4. Sorry, Part 5. Part 5, come on, Spot. Should have had a V8. From Part 5, The Dream Child. Thanks for watching as you always do, guys, and I'll see you guys next time.